disappointing when people don't do it. Okay, next story, Project Ether. All right, so Ether, this new mint, only whitelisted minted so far. We're still waiting for the main. Let's just do this backwards. So let's jump onto OpenSea first. You can see here 1,800 have been minted. You've got only 3% listed. That's quite bullish. Own account 879, which is a good unique own account, just under 50%. And floor price sitting at 0.67. A lot of, I did look into some of these sales. I mean, let's just call a spade a spade. Definitely a lot of the team buying their own NFTs at this point to keep the floor price propped up because they've still got the public. I don't know why they made the public a week later. It was a big mistake. I would have told them if they had asked for advice. I would have told them freely. That's a mistake. The one thing that I've learned in the projects I have assisted and been a big part of is momentum during mint is incredibly important. And you don't want to lose that momentum. And having a week break is a big mistake. So we saw the opposite end of it with the 10-minute mint window for Azuki, which was also very offensive to a lot of people. And that also had a lot of problems. So it wasn't just the art. But I mean, imagine you lived in a country far away and that time was 3 o'clock in the morning for you and you in Azuki whale. It's just not considerate. So that's the opposite end where they try to keep the momentum too much. They literally gave 10 minutes to that one, 10 minutes to that one. And that was also wrong, but a week is crazy. So anyway, they've realized this Ether when they've seen that the price has dropped so low. And they've said, look, we're going to be dropping the collection size from 10,000 to 5,555 because of current market conditions. But what else is interesting here in this, if you look at their Twitter, is that is their last tweet, the 2nd of July, which is very telling because today is the 8th of July and their remaining supply is supposed to go on sale on the 9th of July, which is tomorrow. And you've literally had no activity at all for the last 7 days when they should have had the most or the last 6 days where they should be having the most activity. And if they think keeping their floor price just nothing, and if they think just keeping their floor price just above mint is going to be enough to incentivize people to mint, they are very, very wrong. And remember, their whitelist mint was 0.3 something ETH. So that was another crazy thing, is they gave such a benefit to the whitelisters that naturally a lot of those people feel, look, I can 2x in a very bad market. And they have now had to fuel that 2xing. So everyone who minted at 0.35 is more than happy to sell at 0.5, knowing that the team has to keep it over 0.65 for longer than a week. Because the public mint is 0.65. What they should have done is kept the collection size at 10,000 and said the mint price for everyone is going to be 0.35. Because then they wouldn't have had to artificially prop up the floor price, which they're still going to have to continue to do, buying everyone's bags who whitelisted, and they could leave it naturally and let it get to 0.4, 0.45, and they'd have a much better chance of selling out because naturally the floor would hold above mint price substantially enough for people to want to mint. Because if I see a mint at 0.35 and the floor is 0.45, I'm happy to mint if I want to flip it, because to make 0.1 is great, you know.
Yeah.
So a lot of mistakes have happened here. And I think the inactivity speaks volumes. And I think they're in a lot of trouble with this mint that's happening tomorrow. I think it's really going to be an issue for them.
Yeah. Well, so if you look at my shared screen, I just interviewed OG, who's you've probably seen him on your timeline, guys. He's been interviewing like basically everyone. He's really good on Twitter. Pretty funny, nice guy. And he's like 21 years old. He's just high energy. And he's like he loves Ether. He's like been all about them. I think he's even got them in his bio and stuff. Like, he just likes the team. He met them all. So he's a big proponent of Ether. So I asked him a couple things about it. He's not too worried about it. But he's also, I mean, he's for sure biased. However, I did not know that they've been literally inactive for like a week. That is very interesting. And I didn't know that I didn't know we were still waiting on the public. I thought that had already happened. Like, I thought it was like right after this interview, I thought the mint was happening. And I just didn't expect us to still be not knowing. I don't know. 10 days is crazy, bro.
No, so I think it was about 7 days. So it's been 6 days. So yeah, it's a week. But that's, I mean, it doesn't matter. Even 2 days is crazy. You got a couple of hours is what you got max.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they made a big mistake over here for sure, and I think they've made an even bigger mistake by cutting the supply instead of cutting the price, and they're getting a lot of FUD for it. So that's that. And just to have